Okay, we are live. What's going on, guys? Kurt here, the Chicago Crown Hustler, and today we're just doing a quick brand review. Let me pull up YouTube real quick so I can open up the live feed of comments. It's live, say hello. I'd be glad to kind of respond back and forth with you guys, but just kind of checking out a brand that's definitely on the rise, and that's Champion. Champion's recently done a collaboration with Supreme, which is a huge clothing brand right now in the news. Their stuff sells pretty ridiculously. If you've watched Heart Pickers, Ronnie's got a lot of good info on there, and he's recently been talking about their collaboration with Champion, and I just wanted to kind of take a quicker look at Champion because it's one of those brands that you see all the time, but what is it that you should be on the lookout for? So now ready for us. Let's take a closer look into Supreme and see what they're doing. Just kind of to jump in. Just a moment here. Okay. Got some real different, I would say, styles of clothing that are coming up, and it's a real different take on fashion, but not this. Let's see here. Team New York.com. See what we got. Oh shit. Hang on just a minute, guys. Sorry about that. Yeah, so here's their website. It's supremenewyork.com. They have locations New York, Tokyo, London. As far as what they offer, they're constantly coming up with new designs, but their quantities are super limited. So outside their stores, I mean, there's always a line for the releases. This is their website here. This is a good website to jump on and just see things that are trending, because if you find even just a basic Levi's, like a jean jacket like this, we already know those sell well, but with Supreme collaborating brands, they're really gaining popularity in other areas. So here on eBay, I have some basic, some basic sold listings, just Champion, used items, which you'll typically find, and really wanted to focus more in on items that are $25 or more, all sold listings. So kind of looking through here, it doesn't really reveal what what Supreme is really influencing. So what I typically do is go onto Google, and that will kind of give you in Supreme Champion and jumped on images. And some of this stuff looks really basic, but others are pretty specific as far as the branding on there. But even something as basic as a Champion hoodie with the Supreme logo on there sells for pretty crazy money on eBay. Yeah, I mean, nothing too eye-popping out there. Obviously, the big logos generally do a little bit better with most brands. So let's take a look back at eBay and see what we can recognize that's similar to the Supreme Champion collaboration that's already sold. So right off the bat, I can tell that the bigger logos are definitely selling for a little bit better. This one took a best offer. We're not sure what that one went for. Same with the t-shirt. This is pretty basic, and I find it out in a general thrift store, Goodwill. Champion's a decent brand too. They make, quality clothing. It's nothing too special, but it's not junk. There we see also the larger logo there. Bright colors and pretty basic design is really what I'm thinking is popping out. Now here's an actual Supreme sweater here. So if you can find something that's similar with the bigger logo, that's going for pretty good. I know the jerseys do pretty well, but it really depends on the player and the team. You've heard of Bape. They're a company out of Japan. They're also in New York, but they did a collaboration with Supreme as well. So let's take a look at that real quick. See what styles. Bape's pretty traditional with their It stands for the bathing ape, and you can see the little ape in some of the camouflage there. So let me go into clothing because it looks like they did a lot of other stuff. What's up, Red Seller? I see you're here. Babe has some crazy designs. They got this like shark hood that is super popular, but careful with the fakes. There's a lot of fakes out there. Let's see. I didn't really see much. There's a jacket, but nothing too specific there. Regardless, any of the camo stuff usually does pretty well. I'm not just talking Bape. I'm just talking in general. Let's see a champion camo. It looks pretty similar. Let's see. Let's take a closer look into it. Yeah, very similar to that Bape design. There's no whatever, but this is definitely a champion. That's good. They got measurements, and it looks like it's made in Japan, which is cool. Run back here. Kind of just scrolling through. I want to do some research on it myself because I'm about to go source a bit and see if I can find. Obviously, vintage stuff does very well. The track jackets and suits and all that stuff are pretty huge this year as well. And I know spring and summer are coming up, but it doesn't really matter. I mean, people are buying stuff year round. I think in December I sold a bunch of board shorts, so that tells you right there. Let's look here. That's sick. I think you were talking about the camo one. I think it was pretty cool. Not a huge detailed video here today. I'm just kind of getting an eye full of what's selling. Obviously, the vintage sports stuff does well. For you guys to keep a lookout on. If you can find it cheap enough, that's crazy. Well, that's actual Supreme hoodie, but that's sold for 125 bucks. I've never found Supreme out in a thrift store. I did find one online for pretty cheap, and I thought I was sniping on it. I grabbed it. It was like a New Era hat, and it was definitely a fake. I compared it to one of my New Era hats store, and not even close. So had to return that one pretty quick. Finding fakes, and you get your hopes up, and oh well. Another thing that's trending pretty well this year, even as far back as fall, is the bomber jackets. And Supreme did a of bomber jackets. Let me pull it up here. Can't type. Too early. Not too early. I've been up for a while, but you know. So there we are. We're into the. Oh, let me go back. I want to jump on Supreme's website. Sure. So now we're taking a look at Supreme's current line of all their jackets that they offer. And this is a great way to see what's trending because this stuff's obviously selling. They have limited quantities. People are trying to get their hands on it, and they might not always be able to afford it, but they still want that style. So this is a great way to kind of see what's going on. Definitely the military style. That satin is pretty hot right now. Camo always sells well for me. Supreme's pretty daring with all their designs. They do a lot of eye-popping designs, and then they have a lot more basic stuff with this. Is it the prices? I don't know if we'll find anything on here. Shut up. No, it won't show a price on here, but let's jump onto their main site real quick and see what they have. Just to get an idea of their prices. I want to see. Their site is hard to navigate through, but they don't care. Yeah, so for a basic half zip pullover, you're looking at 174 bucks. This is if you can get your hands on it. They're already sold out. I've seen, these limited quantity brands do pretty well. It's hard to judge how long they'll stick around, like the KCCO stuff. If you remember that, that's the Keep Calm Chive On. It had limited quantities of their super basic shirt, and it was like a $30 shirt, but you could buy that online and flip it for double. I actually had a few of them, And I remember that, you know, you had like drop dates that you had to like time your day around and like be sure that you were ready. They had some server crashes, and it's insane. I've never experienced a brand like that at all. So Supreme is definitely one that's a little bit newer and around. So this is let's get out of the Bape stuff, because it's not, you don't see this kind of thing around a lot, but I mean, if you do, you'll recognize that pattern. It's a pretty basic camo design with that ape on there. But you do got to be careful. So getting back into the jackets, we're looking at flannels, that pleat print or whatever, satin. That one's going for pretty well. Stuff does pretty good too. Let's jump out of that. And this is another thing that I do every so often. I jump into Google. I go into the news and just search, you know, clothing 2017 fashion shows, just to see what kind of stuff they have. And you can kind of go through here. It's like this one might be a good idea to look through Maui Jim with, you know, different rappers and all this kinds of stuff. So this might be a brand that's on the uprise. Same thing here. You see a lot of the stuff that, you know, a lot of the guys talk about already, guys and girls, talk about already, that are rising brands that have some pretty good return. Jump on here every so often is definitely a good idea. I recommend it. I've gotten a few ideas from it that paid out well. Let's jump back to eBay. And let's look something more basic that we'll probably find. Let's take a look at just some basic t-shirts. That's a jersey, but we're taking a look at t-shirts that sold for over 25 bucks in used condition. You're only seeing 112 listed here. 503. So you might be able to find something at Marshall's or TJ Maxx or whatever. Champion's a brand that's pretty much, I don't know, I haven't heard of someone who has a hard time finding it. Let's jump back into pre-owned. So with a basic brand like Champion, you know, it might be kind of hard before Supreme jumped into it to sell something used for 29 bucks. But because of that collaboration, let's see what's definitely selling yet. A lot of the vintage stuff, you know, you got the bowls, the large print. It's kind of all scattered here throughout here. I'm seeing, yeah, there's the bathing ape, 72 bucks. I mean, that stuff goes for crazy money. So I'd be looking out for, you know, the Champion hoodie, or even just a pullover is really good. I'm going to be on the lookout for t-shirts with the larger design, t-shirts and hoodies just like this one with the larger design. Those are doing pretty well, and I think I can pick them up for under 5 bucks for sure. Vintage Champion spell, that one's went for 71 bucks. I don't think that's a collab. I think that's just a general made. And the Made in USA stuff is the tag to look out for, I know as well, right there. Gray hoodie, but let's see if there's anything special here. For sale, we have this awesome vintage Champion Spell black hoodie sweatshirt. Tag to size. Size might be what's attracting this as well. Let me see if I can find anything else that's eye-popping on here. Watch what I'm on the lookout for, something like that. Just sold a camo dress. Nice job, Brad Seller. Yeah, camo's, I think that's one of those designs that's camo, the checkered, you know, polka dot stars. A lot of that stuff really is on the lookout from a lot of your customers. So let's see. That one's pretty cool. If you can find it down the arm, it's kind of like a vintage thing. I've seen a lot of Tommy Hilfiger with arm, or Nautica. You know, there's a lot of brands that do this, and it seems to up the resale value for sure. That's a Supreme right there. You can see the Supreme, then the Champion on the arm. Let's take a look into the next page real quick. We've been on this one for a little bit, and it was on this one. This is just by recents sold, and it's still very relevant. This is February, end of February, so it's moving with this brand. That's cool. Champion spark plugs. Reversible. That's cool. A lot of the same designs here. Nothing. I wouldn't, without knowing that Supreme did a collaboration with them, I probably wouldn't pick these up really ever. Super basic, and I had no idea that they were going for a higher value. So cool to check it out. Let's see here. We got some track pants. I've come across those, I know, multiple times, so I'll be picking those up if I can find them around. $325. That's crazy. Yeah, there's another Supreme, that same design. Cool. Well, I just wanted to jump in and get a quick idea of what's going on with Champion. I didn't do too much research. I heard about it, and I'm about to go out sourcing again. And yeah, wanted to take a look at that. Hopefully, I come up with some good stuff today. Hopefully, you guys are out listing, selling, shipping, whatever you need to do. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.